the Henry Golden Boy Revolver. Let's check it out. Henry is known for their lever action rifles. A lot of quality, a lot of different calibers, different barrel lengths, and it's as Americana as you can get. And so when they introduced their revolver series, I was really surprised. The Big Boy Revolver in .357 Magnum, excellent handgun, but yet very different. But now they've introduced their little brother, the Golden Boy Revolver in .22 Long Rifle. Now I say little brother, that's only in caliber. It's the exact same size and weight as the .357 model. So it gives it some heft. But it has a brass grip and trigger guard, all steel, but it has that blued finish, which makes it really look classic and not Cerakote, not some kind of anodized finish, but yet that old traditional blue, which Henry is known for. And a big thank you to Henry Repeating Arms for sending the Golden Boy in .22 Long Rifle for this review. The Henry Golden Boy Revolver. I'll tell you, when you first look at it, it definitely has that vintage look to it. Looks like something that just stepped out of the late 1800s, early 1900s. It's just got that very traditional classic look to it. And yet, it's made with really modern precision. And it really goes well with Henry's line. With their lever action rifles, this is just a perfect candidate, really on your hip. And again, it's in .22 long rifle, so it gives you a very soft recoiling round, a lot of fun to take out and plink, and it's really inexpensive. And I'll tell you guys, .22 long rifle, taking it to the range, low muzzle rise, low muzzle report, less noise. It's just a lot of fun to take out. Let's go ahead and make sure the gun isn't loaded, and it has that 10-round cylinder, so you're going to be able to really have a decent round capacity, and it's a very smooth action. I mean, it makes zero noise. And it has that more of a different type of ejector rod. It has a very unique look to it with those lines through it. It just gives it a very vintage look. And then we go with the brass. Now this is solid brass, and it's polished and it's beautiful. It's the trigger guard, and then it's part of the grip itself. American walnut, which is smooth, has the Henry logo, and man, it's beautiful. And it just fits in your hand very nicely. And then the back of the frame here, it just kind of nestles up to it, and it gives you a good solid grip to it. Blued steel all the way throughout, and this is a very nice polished blue. It's one of the things that Henry's really known for. And not the Cerakote, not the baked on finish. It's just a beautiful hot salt bluing, and that really adds to the classic look to it. But it is a full-size revolver. With all the steel, it gives it a lot of weight to it. And it comes on the heels of the Henry Big Boy Revolver. And this was in .357 Magnum and .38 Special. Great, beautiful gun. In fact, these are very similar. There's very little difference, mainly the caliber. But overall, as far as the silhouette, they're pretty much the same exact outline. And really the same weight. Now this does come in this gunfighter grip, which is the squared grip, or you can get the bird's head grip, which makes it just a little more concealable. It kind of brings the grip down. I personally like the gunfighter grip. It just gives you a good solid grip. If it was a shorter barrel, I might like the bird's head. But overall, this to me is that traditional square butt, and man, it just has that nice heft to it. And it does have the fluted cylinder, which, that's one thing that really gives it to me a nice look to it instead of just the unfluted flat surface. Well, marked right on the barrel is caliber 22, short, long, and long rifle. The one thing about a revolver is you can shoot a multitude of different type ammunitions, and it's not ammo finicky. We have our standard velocity 22, and then we have our high velocity 22, our shorts, which give you less recoil and a little less noise, and then you can shoot shot shells. And it doesn't affect the functionality of the revolvers. While revolvers can be a little slower, they're definitely more versatile. This is one special feature that I want you to see. We're going to open up our cylinder. Right under here at the trigger guard, there's a little button. And if you press that button, you can take your cylinder and your crane and you can just pull it right out. And so that allows you to really clean it. And I think that is a really cool feature. And it's that way with the big boy as well. When you're going to put it back in, just line it up and it just slides right back in. So this is a great way to keep these clean, to be able to just remove the cylinder, and actually could lead to maybe a 22 Magnum or something like that. It would be nice to be able to have an interchangeability. But we'll see what Henry wants to come up with. But the bluing is beautiful, the brass is beautiful, and it looks again like it just stepped out of the early 1900s. Now it's a 4-inch barrel, and it's actually a really heavy barrel for 22 long rifle. I mean, it's going to give you a lot of stability. The sights on the rear are kind of a notch sight. And then at the front, we have a blade. Now this is interchangeable. You get 2 additional sights. You just remove the screw and you put in whatever size that fits you the best. And again, you have that small, medium, and large height. That way you can get right onto your target. A lot of guys like to get that 12 o'clock hold, the 6 o'clock hold, or just that point of aim. And personally, I like the point of aim. But it really fits right in the back of that notch very well. Spurred hammer, and we have a transfer bar inside, so it's going to make it drop safe and really safe to carry. And of course, with it being a double single action pistol, you don't have any external safeties. The big thing that is the safety is that trigger pull. Now it's a smooth trigger, and then as we pull it back, it's super smooth all the way to the end. And then the single action, just a really nice crisp break. Okay, we're going to check the trigger pull weight with our Lyman trigger gauge and Brownells. 11 pounds, 11 ounces. And it's pretty heavy, but that's typical for a lot of your double single actions. But really, it's all the way until you get to the very end and you have just where it stops, and then you have the pull. And I think that's where that trigger pull is coming in. And on single action, 3 pounds, 11.3 ounces. Very nice. Now obviously we're using premium materials, all steel, the bluing with the brass, and a lot of the internal parts are hand fitted. And it's one of the things about one of these designs that just allow for very smooth action. And weight on the Golden Boy revolver, 38 ounces. It has some heft, but that's going to be really nice at the range. I want to give a big thank you to Fiocchi for sponsoring our ammo. But we did bring some 22 shorts from CCI and some mini mags just to test out some different loads. And again, this is a 10 round capacity, so it just really gives you a good amount. And guys, again, with a revolver, I mean, you can shoot about any kind of load in here that will go, whether it's shorts, longs, 22 long rifle, again, shot shells. Makes it very versatile, and more versatile actually than an automatic, but it is slower to load. Guys, the Henry Golden Boy, 22 long rifle, 22 short, 22 long, shot shells, you name it. I mean, you can fire it through this. That's one of the beautiful things about a revolver. But really a very hefty handgun, so when you're shooting it, it is so mild. Great for first-time shooters to learn on a double single action. Beautiful finish. Sights, that little trough at the back, and then you have your blade at the front. Of course, you can change those out, but it's a very smooth action. And of course we have 10 rounds, so it gives us just a decent capability. And you know, loading a revolver takes a few minutes, obviously, and this just helps it with 10 rounds. But you know, there are plenty of 10 round capacity cylinders out there. But this is just a beautiful blue finish. The brass is a nice touch, and it's just a very smooth shooter, even rapid fire. I mean, it just, The one thing about a revolver is that it's just reliable. So you don't have to worry about it necessarily malfunctioning. Now there is double action like we've been shooting, and then there's single action. Let's just bring the hammer back. And then double action. Beautiful gun, very smooth shooting, Henry quality, and it matches well with your 22 Golden Boy lever actions, or if you want to go with a pair for the 357 Magnum, have the big boy and the Golden Boy. We're going to shoot 22 shorts, first 5 rounds, and then we're going to shoot 5 rounds of long rifle. Definitely a difference, but not a big difference. Just a little bit softer. The recoil is still mild, especially with this size handgun. Sounds a little less. The recoil does come back just a touch less. But guys, it gives you 2 options to go with that centerfire caliber, the 357 Magnum or the 38, and then you can come in and plink and have a great time with that just standard 22, which makes it really soft to shoot. And you get all the same features, the same grip, the same controls, everything is identical. Well guys, obviously there's not a lot to disassemble with a revolver. Again, with that removable crane and cylinder, that makes it really easy to be able to keep this clean and in top notch. But keeping this area right in here, especially toward the top strap, around your barrel area, keeping that clean. One thing that I like to do that's kind of a little bit of a trick is to take a cloth and put it in the back. And so when I am running a steel rod or whatever through the barrel, it gives it a little protection so you don't hit that back plate. And so that's one thing that, in fact, I did a video one time talking about cleaning revolvers, and that is a great trick to try. And again, it just keeps this from getting hit, especially with that steel rod, because it can mar it up. But overall, I mean, it's such a well-finished revolver. And just with the premium features on it, I mean, it definitely is a little bit pricey, but yet it's an heirloom piece. And again, these are made right here in the USA. Guys, I'm a big fan of Otis Technology. It's a great kit. It has everything you need right here, and they have their CLP and their bore solvent, and they have their rip cords to keep your firearms really maintained. And they are suppliers to the U.S. military, which gives it just a step above. And we really appreciate Otis being a sponsor of the channel, even though I've been using Otis products for a long time. Well, it comes in a Henry box and cardboard. We have some foam with our owner's manual and other paperwork. And then here we have the revolver just nestled in the foam. It does come with this little ring that you can dry fire it with. It just gives you a little protection. And we have our lock, but just a nice little box. When it comes to price, we're looking at about $928 retail, which really translates in market price to be considerably less when you go to your local gun shop. But one of the things about price is this is a pretty pricey 22 revolver, but it does have all steel construction, a lot of hand-fitted parts with the solid brass receiver and the beautiful walnut stocks. It's one of the things that really makes this more of an heirloom piece. I mean, this is going to last you, your kids, your grandkids, and beyond a lifetime of service. Also, it does have a lifetime warranty on it. Henry really strives to make top quality firearms. And to be honest with you, this is the same price that you would pay for a good Smith & Wesson 22 revolver as well. So what are some pros and cons? Well, first off, it's just a beautiful firearm. You're not going to see this from any other company. It just really stands out as that more of a traditional vintage look, and yet again, it's just made with precision. And Henry is known for really good quality. The beautiful bluing, the sight options, the ease in taking out the cylinder, just really simple to be able to keep it clean and maintained. And it's in 22 long rifle, which just allows for you to shoot cheaply, less recoil, and you can take first-time shooters out to the range. I mean, really, this is more of an heirloom piece. and yet it's one that you love to take out to the range and plink, maybe do a little bit of pest control, or you might just be a big Henry fan and you want something that's just different to go in your collection. I mean, guys, really, revolvers have taken a huge turn. While they've always been there and they've always been a staple, the revolver market has really shot up over the past couple of years. Because let's face it, guys, we've got all of our polymer striker fire pistols, and it just looks like a sea of black. And it's nice to see some really new designs that have come out, even if they look more traditional. Of course, it could be considered a con, the price. It is a more expensive revolver. There's a lot of cheaper revolvers out there, but honestly, you get what you pay for. And I will have to say that the double action trigger pull is fairly heavy, but one thing that I noticed is on the 357 Magnum, it's a lot lighter. So maybe that's going to work its way out after shooting it a while. Honestly, at this point, we have not shot this gun. So we're going to be taking this to the range, and you'll see all that before you see this with the magic of video editing. But a great revolver. I love Henry, the quality. I mean, I've been a big fan of Henry lever actions for a long time, and their Homestead rifle, their single shot shotgun, but their Golden Boy lever actions. This would make a perfect pair with this on your hip and a Golden Boy in your scabbard. And the weight, I mean, it's heavy. It's 38 ounces. I mean, it's got some heft to it, but man, when you take it to the range, that weight really just aids in keeping it very steady, and it just gives you something solid to hold on to. And it gives you that traditional, made in the USA look, feel, and tradition. So guys, it's great to see Henry again expanding their line, and with the quality that Henry puts into their lever action rifles, you can have confidence that their revolvers are going to be the same. Plus, I mean, it just fits within the Henry line. And there's nothing better than taking .22 long rifle out to the range, especially a revolver, because it's so versatile. And really, this makes a great tool, but also a great piece to add to your collection. And again, a big thank you to Henry Repeating Arms for sending the Golden Boy revolver in .22. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Golden Boy. Very easy to open up. Okay. It has that vintage, oh, crap, made in America or not made at all. Because it's not Animo Ficky. It's not Ammo Ficky. What the heck is that? Have, of course, the unorthodox look. I mean, it just looks classic. It looks more vintage. It's not really unorthodox. The Henry Golden Boy revolver, made with modern technology.